Yes, we are with Levon Aronian. Levon,
Oh, very special.
Very
guest.
special
Very
guest.
special.
Of course. Levon, welcome back to the show. Tell us about today's game against Wesley. It was short, but it was full of content.
I'm not sure about the content. Of course, the position is very playable closer to the end. I think this is variation that is maybe underestimated because it's kind of interesting to play with white.
Mm-hmm. This idea with e4, right?
Yeah, generally.
e4, and he responded with probably the most topical line, bishop to b4.
Yeah, and I took a look at it sometime. I think this king h1, the point is of king h1 is I want to meet knight d4 with b4.
Okay.
So you don't have this
Knight
taken
f3
with check.
Got it. And if you take on c5.
Yeah, and this is a good structure for me,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So here black has many options. I mean, a6, castle, a5. I mean, in every case you have to play very differently because with the pawn on a5 you can afford to play queen a1. But with pawn on e6, all these lines are very, very dangerous because black can long castle at some point and just start the attack.
So in order for you to attack, you also have to be ready for him to castle long with the pawn on a6.
Yeah.
But not with the pawn on a5.
Yeah, because the pawn on a5 is going to be hanging.
It's going to be like some sort of a hook a3, b4 maybe.
The knight goes somewhere.
Knight b5, knight d5. Yeah.
Yeah, this type of things.
Makes a lot of sense. And you play this move queen to e1, knight d4, bishop d1.
Knight e6.
Very nice regrouping.
g3.
And now he came up with this
I think
aggressive h5.
It's not aggressive, it's more strategical, because if black castles, then f4 is very unpleasant. Then f5, g4, this type of things.
f5, g4, and if you take, of course, take, and rook f3, rook g3, f5.
Yeah.
This is not looking good. And he played h5, you responded. Were you, by the way, still in your preparation?
No. I thought, if I play f4, I thought, after knight e6, that was an interesting moment. I thought f4 is the most topical. And then he probably has to take ef. Because if knight f4, bishop f4, ef, and e5.
e5. Ooh.
And queen takes e5, and if queen e7, bishop a4, c6, rook a1.
Yeah.
And he cannot play bishop e3 because I take and rook f4.
He cannot take because of
rook
double
a1.
up, and I mean knight
d5.
d5. The game is over. That's very nice, actually. Yeah, everything comes with tempo.
Yeah, so I felt it's very, very dangerous to take with the knight, but I rejected it mainly on the grounds of e take f.
Yes.
Yes, and now I cannot take bishop f4, knight f4.
No more e5.
Yeah, so I have to play knight d5, and here I felt castle, and then knight f4, knight f4, bishop f4, and bishop d4.
Bishop d4.
Black should be fine here.
This is a very strong bishop on d4. Protecting the king side as well, and you play the move g3 now.
I felt that g3 is not the way to go, but somehow I felt after f4 there's nothing, so I didn't really remember what I was planning to do here. And here, after bishop c5, after bishop d4, I think is the right setup, because the point is he wants to meet f4 with knight c5. And then, it's kind of awkward. I have to defend this pawn, and then he might try for a4.
Bishop e2, and then a4, a3 ideas. And
create some counterplay, yeah. So f4, I don't think is a very...
And you're actually not that fast on this side either, it seems like.
Yeah.
With your attack.
Of course, I can do it on move number 14, instead of king g2. Play f4 here. Bishop, maybe, if I was to play f4, of course I had to do it here. But then bishop d4, same. I'm also not so sure I'm really doing any progress here on the king side.
f5, knight c5 once again.
Yeah, f5 is illogical, and if knight e2, he can always play bishop c5. He's also waiting, So maybe I can play it with knight g1, but I wasn't not so sure. Some strategical position, black can, try to play knight d4 and knight g4. If I was in a better shape, I would definitely try to play on and create some battle. But at this moment, I'm trying to minimize the damage.
What would you say is the main factor that caused, let's say, this drop in shape for you?
Oh, I think I played too much at some point. It made me tired. So I just need I think a week of rest, and I'm back on a horse.
Week of rest for sure, and tomorrow actually is a rest day. What are you going to do during the rest day? What's the plan?
Oh, just walk around, maybe go for a little jog, something like that.
Absolutely, guys. Any questions for Levon?
No, absolutely, Levon. Get your rest, recharge your batteries, come out
Yes.
strong for the last 3 rounds.
We're not going to make Levon tired.
No.
Even more.
Not going to
Yes.
torture.
No.
Absolutely.